Go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the Weather Center. It's breezy and chilly out there this morning. A jacket or a coat will feel good. We don't even climb to 50 degrees until closer to lunchtime. And then 63, the high this afternoon. It does stay breezy, but we'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. 43 tonight, but 73 for tomorrow. And we'll see highs in the low to mid-70s again on Sunday as well.
Early morning check of your money. The Dow Jones down early this morning, 380 points to 41,572.
Clemson with the ball down 4, 10 seconds to go. Front court Hunter, over to Zachary, got a launch. Banker 3, won't go, loose, scrum, Hunter, drive, lays it in at the buzzer. It's not enough. McNeese with the upset. Let the March Madness begin. The Cowboys with their first ever NCAA tournament win. A 12 seed is moving on. 69-67.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan Tournament Tailgate edition. That's why we're jumping on air at 10 a.m. in the morning. It is day 2 of the NCAA tournament. The Fan Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, that is, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. UNC and Duke play today.
Let's go.
They're the last standing for the Atlantic Coast Conference. The Canes in the middle of the night got a win. Shout out to them, 8 straight.
You mean early this morning?
Yeah, it was. All I know is it was dark outside. That's
It
all.
was.
That's all. If I looked outside, I was tired and it was dark. And somehow, with all of that, right, Duke is a 32.5 point favorite in their first NCAA tournament game. UNC already won a game by what felt like 100 in the NCAA tournament. The Canes are cruising. Panthers are moving towards, 33 days until the NFL draft? Even with all that happening, what is everybody talking about? Somehow NC State basketball, because Will Wade, the head coach at McNeese State, is reportedly the next head coach at NC State. I hope, for NC State fans' sake, they have a rock-solid agreement with Will Wade. Because after the clinic his team put on against Clemson yesterday, his DMs are full of athletic directors around the country like, hey, we could get rid of our coach if you just let us know that you would choose us.
So what is the price?
Yeah, exactly. How much is State? What's that agreement for? We're just curious. Maybe we can scrounge up some pennies and beat it. McNeese State, and I say this, understanding it is an understatement, smoked Clemson. I know they won by whatever it was, 2. It was 200. Might as well have been. Clemson scored 13 points in the first half. Part of that, Clemson was god-awful. The other part of that, McNeese State was really good. And Will Wade deserves credit for that. He put together that team. He's coached that team. He's 50-8 over the last 2 years with that team. State should be excited for all of those reasons. And it actually, state basketball needs some things to be excited about. So there you go, right? I know it was a long season. But here's why I think you should actually, obviously they win and it's good, right? Ooh, look at this. Good coach equals winning. How about this? He put together this squad, right? Because it's ironic how quickly you can answer a question. Yesterday, what was I yelling and screaming about? Sure, you're in the NCAA tournament with McNeese State, but you're already preparing for the NCAA tournament next year for NC State, because the most important thing a college coach does right now in 2025 is assemble a roster. And you can make the mistakes now in the transfer portal that you don't even realize will cost you then in early eliminations from the ACC tournament, low seeding in the NCAA tournament, and early losses. And you don't even realize you made that mistake in March based on who you evaluated out of the portal. So I said Will Wade better get ready to identify players to bring to state with him. Then his team goes out there and lights up Clemson, and I'm looking up their stats, and I'm like, Kadir Copeland, I remember him. Dennis, you remember this? When NC State played against Syracuse in the ACC tournament last season, early in the magical run for NC State, there were two players. One of them was Kadir Copeland, who were talking trash.
Oh, my gosh, nonstop. We heard it sitting behind NC State's bench. It was wonderful.
We not only heard the Syracuse players talking trash, we heard the eye rolls from everyone on, like it was vocal eye rolls from everyone at NC State. Kadir Copeland from Syracuse goes to McNeese State. What does he have? 16 points for Will Wade as they upset Clemson. Christian Shoemate, how about this? He's been at McNeese for 4 straight years. Didn't start his career there, but he's been there for 4 years, which means Will Wade showed up, evaluated, and said, I want to keep that one. What did he do? 13 points. Brandon Murray off the bench, 21 points. Came from Ole Miss this offseason. Sincere Parker, 12 points. Came from St. Louis this offseason. He assembled a roster that works. So he's showing the ability to do that, which if you want to go ahead and have a quick turnaround, a Louisville-style turnaround, bottom of the ACC, maybe Louisville up until yesterday, style turnaround, you're going to have to be able to pick the right players that fit together. By the way, Brandon Murray, just fun fact, I was like, where has he played? I feel like I've seen him before. Came off the bench, scored 21 for McNeese State. Last year he was at Ole Miss. I was like, I don't think that's it. Year before he was at Georgetown. I was like, ooh, maybe that's it. Year before he was at LSU. I'm like, all right, I've seen this guy somewhere. Could have been anywhere. Four schools in 4 years.
Well, he was with Will Wade at LSU his freshman year.
Then he did the detour to Georgetown, then the detour to Ole Miss, then finally reunited with Will Wade at McNeese. And do you know what all of this is underscored by? And I can understand if some people, they don't love it. And they actually debated it on the TNT show with Clark Kellogg and Barkley and all those guys. The honesty of Will Wade is becoming a national talking point where he says, yeah, I'm looking at other jobs. Yeah, I've talked to NC State. He doesn't hide it. And he goes, guess what? I tell my players, we're at McNeese State. This is not the highest level of college basketball. If you have options, I'll help you take them. He is very, very practical on the matter, and he's open about it. And that's pretty darn cool. I like it. He's taking another job. After the game, if you watched the McNeese State-Clemson game, after the game, he went and jumped in someone's arms, right? He was running around like people were calling it hints of Valvano, like he was looking for a hug. I'm not going that far. But he was running around, hands above his head. He's excited. McNeese State just upset an ACC school. He jumped into the arms of another gentleman. Do you know who that was? That's the McNeese State athletic director. Do you realize how open and honest you have to be with somebody to be like actively, yeah, as soon as we lose, I'm out of here, buddy. All of the success you've had the last 2 years that I've built, I'm taking that, and I'm probably taking 3 or 4 players with me, and still they're embracing like they just, won the Super Bowl and are going to Disney World. That takes a wild amount of respect, honesty, like wishing the best for each other. That's refreshing. Will Wade, after the game, talked about his focus being on winning at NC State and not the NC State job, even though we know in the background there's other stuff.
I mean, I've been focused on the game. I mean, they'll tell you. I mean, I've been on one about the game. I mean, so whatever else is happening, that's of no distraction to us. I know everybody else, thinks that there's distractions and stuff. We operate the same way all the time. And so we hadn't operated any differently. The walkthrough hadn't been, nothing's been any different. There hadn't been a lot of emotion. It's been narrow focus. The bigger the game, the narrower your focus, and it's been absolute narrow focus on winning our first NCAA tournament game at McNeese State and continuing to change. This is just huge for our school. Our enrollment's up 3%. Our applications are up 10%, and we've gotten freaking $25 million worth of free advertising the last couple weeks. Our stuff's going to go through the roof. It's going to change our area. This changes our 5 parish areas, changes everything. So, that's what our focus has been. And we've broken every record in the book. This was the last one to get. We want to keep this going.
Translation, even when I leave, I left something better than when I found it. Kadir Copeland, that player I mentioned from Syracuse, transferred to McNeese State. He gives the players kind of perspective on the chatter about Wade to State.
He deserves it. All the work and the work he put in with us, the team he had last year. He deserves this opportunity. And I feel like, speaking not just for me, everybody on the team. We happy for him. Of course, we got a goal, and we're gonna finish our goal out together. And he know that. Our team knows that. We in this together. We not even worrying about what's going. We handle all that when our run's done. But while we on this run, my man is a McNeese Cowboy, and he know that.
Translation: bring me with you. I'm not burning any bridges. Bring me with you. No, I'm sure they are. It's easier to deal with when it's out in the open. When it's unspoken and it's just icy and you're, not talking to each other about it. It's the elephant in the room. It's one of the things outside of the good basketball. Let's be real. Outside of winning basketball games, I think the thing I would be most excited for Will Wade is that. And quite frankly, just put on Front Street, he's hid some things, he's lied about some things in his career. It seems like lesson learned, right? He's like, I'm not lying about anything now. Someone's like, did you pick your nose while you were driving? Yes. Right? He's just like, he's like a liar. I cannot tell a lie right now. The pen is blue. Like for those of you that have seen Liar, Liar, the Jim Carrey movie, you get it. He is open and honest, and it's refreshing in college basketball when everybody lies about everything, or at least withholds truths about a lot of things. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is the fan tournament tailgate on 99.9 The Fan, and there is another other side to that McNeese State win, which is Clemson lost. And Louisville lost. And the ACC absolutely stinks. And we have to talk about it. We have to address it in maybe in honor of the way that Will Wade is handling things. We're not going to lie. We're going to be open. We're going to be upfront about it. It's coming up after I tell you about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. And I'll continue, right? Let's make it the theme for the day. Open and honest. Open and honest. I hope that you don't have to call Maynard Service Company in a panic. I hope that your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric lasts forever and ever and ever. But open and honest, that's not how life works, right? And they can be expensive, especially if you're not taking care of them along the way, and especially they can be expensive in other ways, right? Like if your power goes out, guess what? All that food in the refrigerator is going to go bad if you don't get it fixed up real quick. Maynard Service Company has 24/7 service all across the entire triangle. If your air conditioning goes bad, I'll tell you right now, you can get hot, you can get irritable real quick. Who knows what those decisions cost you? Instead, call Maynard Service Company to get it back up and running. They, like I said, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, just to get to know one of the faces in your community. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online. Check out their website, MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We have a honest and open conversation about the ACC and how it stinks. Next.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. People are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale, 19 minutes from Clayton, and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $12,000 off a 2025 Chevrolet Silverado with Trade Assist program when you trade in a 2011 or newer passenger car or truck. Together, together, let's drive.
Attention watch enthusiasts and collectors. Bailey's Fine Jewelry invites you to an exclusive pre-owned Rolex event happening for 2 days only, March 21st and 22nd at their Village District location in Raleigh. Discover North Carolina's largest selection of vintage and pre-owned Rolex timepieces, featuring sought-after models like the Daytona and Submariner, and collector favorites like the iconic Pepsi and Hulk. Whether you're a seasoned collector or searching for your very first Rolex, this is your chance to explore an unmatched collection March 21st and 22nd only at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District. Visit BaileyBox.com for event details. Your perfect Rolex awaits.
Hardee's hand-breaded chicken goodness. 100% white meat dipped in buttermilk and lightly hand-breaded. Served on a toasted bun for a perfectly crispy meets juicy chicken sandwich, or on a home-style tender platter with your favorite dipping sauce, like new Duke's Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. Lunch, dinner, or anytime, there's nothing quite like the goodness of Hardee's hand-breaded chicken. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here at Coastal Credit Union 99.9 The Fan, and we're here to celebrate yet another Scholar Athlete. This month, we're at Middle Creek High School, where we celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Kristen Norton.
My parents have always been there for me. And then my teammates, they really helped me with like the mental part of it. So they really helped like bring me up when like I make mistakes or something and just keep me like grounded.
She's just a great person. She's a great leader by example and also vocally.
She's just that type of person. It doesn't matter what the situation is, anything that can help the team. She's a great young lady.
It's amazing to have on the team. She's a really good role model and a leader on the team.
She's always first to step in and try something new to help the team.
1, 2, 3, Mustang!
What does winning this award mean to you?
It just means that like all my hard work has like really shown. Some days I'm like, what have I done? Like, what have I accomplished? But getting this was like, people have actually seen my improvements and my accomplishments. So it's good. It's really good, yeah.
Congratulations, Kristen.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Our guys, listen, I love McNeese. Our guys love McNeese. There was no doubt how we were going to play. Everybody else who writes about us and talks about us, they don't know our program. They don't know who we are. They don't know what we're about. So all that stuff, all that fodder sounds great to people, but if you're not in with us every day, you don't know how we operate. We operate great like this. This is zero problems for us. Yep.
The Fan Tournament Tailgate here on 99.9 The Fan continues, presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. State fans may have been happy about Will Wade and McNeese State pulling off the upset. Clemson was embarrassing. And I like secondarily, my skin was crawling. Because It's like, man, I ride or die for the ACC, and like I put my name on the line for you, and that's how you're going to back me up. I feel personally attacked by Louisville and Clemson yesterday.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
13 points in the first half for Clemson. I'm not talking about like 13 points for Chase Hunter. I'm saying 13 points for Clemson in the first half.
I don't even expect Clemson football to score 13 points in the first half.
Yeah, what'd they do, miss an extra point?
I think so.
Like what?
Settle for a couple field goals?
Now, Louisville, I get the argument that you shouldn't have been playing a team as good as Creighton yet, but I don't like how they showed up ready to play was embarrassing. And I know Creighton was knocking down shots. You're Louis, you're good. You're good. You have the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. You're a good defensive unit. You shouldn't let anyone catch that kind of fire. And now the ACC has to do some real deep thinking. Yes, Duke and UNC are still alive. Okay, so let's, it does feel a bit like little brothers got into a fight and they're calling in big brothers to be like, yeah, can you make sure that we don't look that bad? Like Duke and UNC are going to have to go take care of business. And if they don't, it gets real hairy real quickly. Per CBS Sports research team, this was Matt Norlander passing it along.
Okay.
McNeese beating Clemson means the ACC can at most have 2 teams left in the round of 32. That's like the traditional second round, which would tie for the league's fewest teams in the second round in an NCAA tournament since the field expanded to 32 teams in 1975.
God.
Which, by the way, UNC, they're favored like gambling-wise. They are the lower seed against Ole Miss. If UNC doesn't beat Ole Miss, it becomes the fewest teams the ACC has ever had in a round of 32. Going back to when, if you made the tournament, there were only 32 teams. That's how far back it goes. And you don't have your fallback argument that you've had in recent years, right? Because the fallback argument has always been, all right, yeah, sure, the ACC only got 4 teams in, only got 5 teams in. But the ones that make it almost always outperform their seeds, which shows that they should have had more. Right? When Clemson goes to an Elite 8 last year, when NC State goes to a Final 4 last year, you get to turn around and say, see, they should have had more teams in because even the bad teams in the ACC go on runs in the NCAA tournament. Bad might have been the wrong word there, but not the top-ranked teams in the ACC go on runs in the tournament. This year, you don't have that. 8-seeded Louisville, see ya. 5-seeded Clemson, bye-bye. Right? It's from a national standpoint, this is rock bottom for the ACC right now. And I know it's it's the old Hollywood cliche, right? Things at least they can't get any worse. Then it starts raining. Like if UNC loses, yes, technically, or Duke, technically it would be worse. But it has never been this bad on a national scale. By this point in the season, it has never been this bad. Hopefully, rock bottom leads to change. Right, because that's historically something that happens not just in sports but in life. Right, when you feel your feet hit the ground of rock bottom, a lot of times you use that to push back up. Right, a lot of times you use that as the cold glass of water to the face moment that wakes you up. And guess what? I think they need to be awoken to. You got to spend money. You got to raise money. You got to spend money. The ACC is not as different as they thought. The ACC operated it with, oh, you can pay players now? Ha, ha, ha. I guess you have to pay players. We have brand names that go back in history, and we will just tell recruits the value of a degree at our university and the value of the alumni base and the value of putting on our jersey is so great that you have to pay, and we will just be good anyway. And then a couple years later, it's like, well, they paid and we didn't, so we stink now. Duke spends big money. Duke is amongst the highest teams in basketball budget across the country. Duke is also head and shoulders above the ACC right now. Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to connect the dots. Hopefully, the ACC having this season shows, all right, we got to spend money. And by the way, I'm not saying you spend like money equals wins, okay? I'm not saying that. There are some teams, Kansas State spent a boatload of money this year.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't even make the tournament. Spending money does not automatically equal wins. But if you are consistently spending less money, it makes it very, very difficult to keep up, okay? It's really the opposite, right? There's motivational speakers, the whole thing about, money doesn't buy happiness. No, but lack of it can cause sadness. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing there, right? Spending money does not equal wins, but lack of it can cause losses. And the ACC is learning that. So, and by the way, slowly teams are being dragged into the future. You have to copycat, right? Look, how are other teams raising the money that they're giving to their players? Who are they asking? Are they putting surcharges on tickets? Are they, being more creative with how they raise money? Are they being more creative with how they fundraise with boosters? Like you have to do it. You have to. I still think what the ACC believed about themselves, their brands matter more, their alumni, their history matters more. I still think that's a great tiebreaker. Okay, if you come to an ACC school and they're offering $200,000, and you go to a school in some Big 12 and they're offering $200,000, I think then you come with the slideshow about, have you seen all of the players that have played here that have gone on to the NBA, and have you seen the things up in our rafters and all this cool stuff? That's how you win the tiebreakers. And it might even make up a little deficiency. They offer $200,000, you offer $175,000. Might be able to make that up. But the cold glass of water to the face is you're not getting by with a hope in a sales pitch. You need some cash just like everybody else does.
Are we going to spin zone this and say McNeese State is an ACC school because Will Wade's coming to state? Is that what we're going to spin zone this thing? Let's do it. Because right now the triangle's dominating then, if that's the case.
And let's be real. There's 3 or 4 players on McNeese State that'll be wearing an NC State uniform next year anyway.
Exactly. Let's call it what it is, folks.
I do think this is an all-time spin zone by State fans.
Let's do it.
UNC.
I'm not a State fan, but let's do it anyway.
UNC won by $1 billion in a first 4 game. Somehow 2 days later, State fans are bragging about an NCAA tournament win in a tournament that they didn't make, and is like the talk of the town. I don't know how you do it. That's an impressive little okey doke there.
Hey, ride that wave. Ride that wave.
Whatever it takes to make you have some fun.
Hey, you know what? Duke's just doing their thing, being a 1 seed. Mm-hmm. Carolina's it's us against the world.
Yep.
Almost like an NC State mentality. Us against the world. Then State's like, hey, look at us. We're the best thing ever. We're not losing. We're winning.
Somehow. Like I said, it is an ultimate spin zone. It's actually impressive.
It really is.
It is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes won last night.
They did.
8 straight. If they were a college basketball team, 8, that's plenty. That's 8 in a row, and you're hoisting trophies at this time of year. But before we get to how that happened, what was so cool about it, why'd they go down 1-0 or 0-1 to San Jose? There's a lot of questions to ask. Before we get there, here's Dennis Cox with something for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. It's that time of year. It's that time of year to win, and you have the opportunity to win, folks. I need you to go to caniacsbike.com and enter for your chance to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle. The Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and the Carolina Hurricanes are all teaming up once again to give one lucky fan a motorcycle. But this year, it is a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Again, go to caniacsbike.com. That's how you enter. caniacsbike.com. Fully custom-built motorcycle, custom painted, built here in Raleigh by Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson. Shiny Side Paint, custom painted this bad boy. It is absolutely gorgeous. The detailing on the paint job is absolutely wonderful. Cane's colors, logos, decals, you name it, it's all on there. 100% custom built bike. It could be yours, folks. 1 of 1. Imagine you're rolling around town on something that no one else can say that they have. That could be you. 1 of 1. Go to caniacsbike.com. Deadline's April 6th. That's right around the corner, folks. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It may not be college basketball, but there was a little bit of madness late last night with the Canes. We explain next.
It's bow time. finally lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
Ooh, with the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
Taylor Hall. He finds Walker who lets it go, and he scores! Sean Walker is playing his best hockey with the Canes, and he puts Carolina up 3-1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Little 10 to noon edition here as we get you set for the NCAA tournament, which will take over the airwaves at noon. But taking over the airwaves like exactly 12 hours before noon. Canes played last night. It was a 10:30 start, 10:30 p.m. because they're out there in San Jose taking on the Sharks. And this is a game that actually, and every once in a while this happens on West Coast swings. If you're somebody, you're like, listen, I got work. I can't be up for a 10:30 puck drop. I'm going to be asleep at 9:30, and I'll wake up and check the score. You just woke up and you saw 3-1 Canes win, and you're like, that makes sense, right? San Jose stinks, 3-1, perfect, lovely, on with my day. If you did stay up, though, it's about halfway through the second period. You're like, all right, guys, stop playing around. Let's go ahead and get this one going. I know jet lag, but, down 1-0 at the end of the first, and start finishing some of these chances, why don't you? Of course, they did. Took a while to get going, but it was a good night for the Canes. All right? We'll chalk it up to jet lag like the caller said yesterday. A little bit of a slow start because it was late on the East Coast. Also, chalk it up to maybe, Burns had some nostalgia for his old club. He had to, go say hi to everybody, and he was eating dinners with everybody. So, maybe that's why he, slid on the ground and tripped. And the goal was a ridiculous goal. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, it was a fluky goal. For those who didn't see it, the puck kind of crashes into Freddie Anderson along with the guy going to the net because he got tripped by Brent Burns on a 2-on-1. the puck crossed the goal line before the net comes off and everything. So it is a goal. It's just a weird, fluky bounce goal that happens every once in a while.
It was just.
But that's it.
It was ridiculous. And then from that point on, defense played well. Freddie Anderson played well. And like here, well, actually, let's take it almost goal by goal. They scored 3 because I think they all, in their own weird way, were kind of like exactly what the doctor ordered. One, I think it was Walt Ruff on Twitter called the Jarvis goal an identity goal, which is like, this is a Canes goal. You put pressure, just a little puck pressure leads to some sloppy play by your opponent. You get the turnover, and it leads immediately to a goal from one of your best goal scorers in Seth Jarvis. It was a very Canes goal, something that Rod Brindamore is going to be very proud of. And it was Jarvis, which is always good to see him going. They're 68-5-5 in games where Seth Jarvis scores a goal. So get him scoring as often as he can. Then there was the Blake to Aho goal, which was glorious because it's always good to see Aho get going. But also, Jackson Blake is, I'm telling you, he is on the precipice of something big. He had another goal taken away, right? On offsides, and it's similar to the goal. It's like, no, it's a good call. It's not a goal, but the move was sweet, right? And then he sets up Aho. Aho obviously gets the flash sizzle of the one-timer, but Jackson Blake fighting on the boards, creating a play, keeping his eyes up. That line starting to look pretty darn good. Then there's the Sean Walker goal, which, Dennis, I know
it's my guy.
Sean Walker's your guy. But I'm focusing on what got to the Sean Walker goal, which is Taylor Hall and Kokiniemi. Those guys are really starting to understand where the other likes to be. They're seeing the ice the same way. Now that I've highlighted each of them, the lines are building chemistry, right? And this is what is supposed to happen. The irony of it is, I was waiting for this moment with Mikko Rantanen, right? 4, 5, 6, 7 games together. You start going like, all right, where's the chemistry, right? You're having time. You're practicing together. You're hanging out. When is everybody going to start clicking? And we know with Mikko Rantanen on the Canes, it never happened. But with the post Mikko Rantanen Canes, it is. Hall Kokiniemi might be something. If they could get that Hall deal, it would be great. Hall Kokiniemi might be something for the next few years, 2-3 years. Hall's on a 4-game point streak right now. Lighten it up. Jarvis, Aho, Blake. Does anyone want to break up that line anytime soon? I don't think so.
No.
That could be one for that could be a thing. Those guys can grow together for even longer than 2 or 3 years if everything breaks their way. Rod Brindamore, the head coach, talked about the production he saw from the Aho line in the postgame.
They were buzzing around and they had a lot of good shifts, and they probably deserved a little better. They were, I think one of our best lines, if not the best line. I thought, in general, everyone I thought played a good game, and that's what we need. That's what we've been doing here in this stretch. It's everyone's contributing, finding a way, and then huge penalty kill at the end. Everyone blocking shots, doing what they had to do to get it done.
Jarvis, I don't know if again everybody was paying as much attention late at night during the intermission when Jarvis was interviewed. A lot of praise for Blake. The quote that I wrote down was, "I've said it before, he's an absolute dog on the puck." Jarvis talks up Blake a lot, which is like kind of, to me, indirectly him saying, don't change up this line. Keep the rookie up with us. We're doing good. Something's buzzing right now. Let us play this out. It was a very, once they got going, right? Because I don't want to completely downplay that they were down 1-0 like 4 minutes into the second period to the worst team in the NHL. Once they did get going, though, there were a lot of boxes being checked for things I wanted to see. And that's not even mentioning the fact that, once again, the blue line gave up 2 goals or less. They're on an 8-game win streak. You know what else they're also on? A streak of allowing 2 goals or less, which is as important as anything else we're talking about. Right? They haven't allowed more than 2 goals to any team during that stretch. And again, Winnipeg, Tampa, like it's not like they were just playing, San Jose and Philly over and over and over again.
And one thing about Jackson Blake, talking about Seth Jarvis saying he's a dog on the puck, You watch during the games, when there are board battles, Jackson Blake's there. He's the one that's coming out with the puck. For a guy that's not the biggest, just finds a way, and he also has some good skill. Like, he does have a good stick work as well. To me, again, he's right there on, like, as soon as it fully clicks.
Just need the dam to break.
Exactly.
The board, there's a great point about him coming out of scrums and coming out of board battles with the puck. It happens a few times, and you're like, oh, look, Jackson Blake's having a good day. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. He must have woke up feeling strong today. And then it happens again a couple times in the next game, and you're like, oh, wow, it's carried over. And then it's like 4 or 5 straight games, and you're like, I think he might just be good at it, right? I think he might just have the knack for coming out of those situations with the puck, which, again, put him on a line with Aho and Jarvis. Extra possessions, longer possessions, like chaotic possessions where maybe the opposing team's blue line is a little out of position because everybody was up against the boards doing things. That chaos is where the Canes can get Aho and Jarvis going, which it is vital towards their success. It was a good game. Now, last point, just a hint of a wet blanket thrown on the fire. It was all against San Jose. It was, as bad as it is to be losing to a team that's the worst in the league, you also, even the good things that happened, it's still the worst team in the league, right? They play the Kings on Sunday, the first half of a back-to-back. That'll be a little bit more of a challenge. So,
who are far from the worst team.
Yeah,
in the league.
we'll be watching that one. Obviously, mixing it in with the basketball. There's just a lot going on. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, Canes game is at 4 o'clock tomorrow, so it's 3:30 Storm Watch with Adam Gold. But for you basketball fans, so that's right here on The Fan. But on The Fan before that,
I think I may have said Saturday. I may have said Sunday. I didn't mean Sunday. I meant Saturday, and then they play again on Sunday against Anaheim.
But yes, tomorrow's game against the Kings is 4 o'clock, 3:30 Storm Watch. Before that, right here on The Fan, NCAA tournament action. Purdue taking on McNeese State.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Do you think it counts as like retribution for last year's Final Four for State?
Yes.
If Will Wade beats Purdue?
Yes, 100%.
Go avenge your future team's past transgressions. I don't know. State fans will find a way for it to work. I promise you.
They should.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Fan Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan will be going on up until noon when we turn things over to the NCAA Tournament broadcast. It is a Friday. For those of you that don't get a chance to hear it in the afternoons every Friday, we have real bold predictions coming up. They are the best bold predictions in sports media. That, I promise you. Stick around.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You gotta talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with autopay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately. Nope, sticking to our go-to places. You mean like Sharky's. Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3. You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection. And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it. Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other? Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Aho tries to get to it off the side of the net. And Blake will get it back and he'll score! In the high slot, Seth Jarvis takes advantage. And Jarvis's 27th has Carolina tied at 1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are 1 hour and 15 minutes away from turning 99.9 The Fan over to the NCAA tournament. Dennis, do you have the featured games that we can pass along in front of you?
Yes, I do.
All right. So the way that the broadcast works, obviously, when there's 16 games going on in a single day, and you want to pay attention to all of them, is there's one like main game that the broadcast handles, and then they're just constantly updating you on the other games going on, and the upsets that could potentially be happening and everything else. So for the kind of featured main course schedule, here's Dennis.
All right. So the first game that'll be featured on 99.9 The Fan, part of Westwood One's broadcast, is Baylor Mississippi State, which is taking place right here in Raleigh at the Lenovo Center, which is awesome. Tim, you'll be there. I know I'll be there. Graham Hill will be there. Excited for that. Right after that, on Buzz Sports Radio at 3 o'clock, when Duke tips off, go to Buzz Sports Radio if you want to hear the Duke broadcast, because on The Fan, we'll have Vanderbilt St. Mary's. Also later on tonight, we'll have Kentucky and Troy, and Liberty taking on Oregon as the nightcap here on The Fan. All part of Westwood One. Again, if you want Duke broadcast, men's 3 o'clock, it's going to be over on Buzz Sports Radio. So that's 99.9 HD2, 104.5 FM if you're in Durham or Chapel Hill, or 6:20 a.m. if you're around the Raleigh area. So make sure you check that over there as well. And also, Duke women are in action tonight. They take on Lehigh. That game's actually at Cameron Indoor. You can listen to that 8 p.m. tonight over on Buzz Sports Radio as well. We got it all covered.
This is just a funny personal story. So my grandfather, one of the best football players in Lehigh history. My great-grandfather is a Lehigh Hall of Famer, and like my grandmother was a diehard Lehigh everything. They lived in this area for a very, very long time, and my grandpa became a diehard Duke fan while he lived here. So when we have our family bracket every year, my grandma had a rule. If Lehigh or Duke are in, boom, winning it all.
Fair.
And
fair.
If it ever came down to Lehigh versus Duke, oh, man, it was a thing. So I don't know what my grandma, the late great, right? I don't know what she would be doing here, but she would really enjoy watching that women's basketball matchup. Shout out to Lehigh, shout out to Duke from the old
A house
Rallies.
divided.
Yeah. Well, it was like they were both individual. Like you don't You don't. Obviously, it happened with the C.J. McCollum year, but you don't have to choose between Lehigh and Duke very often, right?
You don't.
It's like when people are, I got my West Coast team or my AFC team and my NFC team, right? I only have to choose if it's the Super Bowl. It's like Lehigh and Duke. It's pretty 100% that you can root for them all the time and against each other. It became a thing. So, it's happening on the women's side. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. With that being said, it is time for Real Bold Predictions. I'll explain it for those of you that haven't heard it in the afternoon show. I make a prediction that I think is bold. Although, unlike other sports media entities, shows, podcasts alike, when they say bold predictions, they just get to make a prediction and pretend like no matter what, it's bold. We've established a checks and balances system where if it is bold enough to be actually certified, authenticated as bold, you will hear the bold enough bell. If it is not bold enough to be certified, authenticated, double stamped as a bold prediction, you'll hear the not bold enough buzzer. I will have to make it bolder on the spot until it hits. Dennis, are we ready? There we go. Let's start with the Duke game. Duke, top seed against 16 seed Mount St. Mary's. Bold prediction. Isaiah Evans, off the bench, 3 or more threes made. I am prepared to go as high as 5. Will 4 get it done? Will 5 get it done? All right. I just think, especially if they get out to a big lead, the bench players will get a little bit more run. It's crazy to think that Isaiah Evans is a bench player for Duke, and he'll be out there with the second unit getting the extra run. But because he's, a 5-star recruit and might be a first-round pick if he decides to come out. But yeah, I think he'll get a little extra run. And if there's one thing we know about Isaiah Evans, situation does not matter. If he is on the floor, he's firing. Catch, load, fire from 3. We'll go to the UNC game. 11 seed UNC, 6 seed Ole Miss. Similarly, Dennis, Ian Jackson, 3 or more threes off the bench. 4 or more threes. This is kind of assuming that the Lenovo he's not even in the Lenovo Center. Assuming that I was about to say that suits him because he made a bunch of shots against NC State. But he's not in the Lenovo Center. They're in Milwaukee, right?
They are.
I just think a 5-star off the bench in the NCAA tournament is kind of unfair. Right? These teams are gearing up. Their starters are ready to play. It's like, well, actually, your second unit has to be ready to guard Ian Jackson. That just doesn't sound like something they prepare for, right? You only got a couple days. Circle R.J. Davis. Circle then Allen Lubin. That's who we got to stop. Second guy off the bench is Ian Jackson. I think he's going to have a big game. This is me correcting something from yesterday. Bold prediction. Bryant beats Michigan State. That's a 15 seed over a 2 seed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's a very bold prediction.
Do you know why I'm correcting it?
Why?
Yesterday, if you listened to the show, we had another tournament tailgate, 10 to noon. I did a long breakdown of the archetypes of teams I look for in upsets. And one was the unique, one was the hidden NBA player, and like I did a lot of research. And do you know what? It came up with 2 teams that you should circle as potential upsets, potential runs they could go on. One was Drake. And guess what Drake did yesterday? They beat Missouri. And guess who didn't put Drake as a winner on their bracket?
You?
Me.
Oh, I did.
Well, I did all I told all of you to do it. Hopefully you do as I say, not as I do. And the other one I came up with, granted it is a much longer shot, was Bryant, because they're a little unique. They run. They're 7th in the country in pace in terms of possessions per game, which is 2nd amongst all tournament teams, the teams that are still playing, behind only Alabama. And they're 3rd in the country in shots blocked, meaning they block on defense, not their own shots getting blocked. Behind only, I think it was Florida and Auburn. So I'm going like, this is a unique, upstart, scrappy little team. And I mentioned them yesterday, and I don't have them in my bracket either, so on Front Street there. But, worked yesterday. Call a team an upset, and then don't put them in your bracket, and they win. So let's see if it happens again. We'll just go a little. We'll go a little Raleigh bracket, Raleigh location.
Let's go.
UConn beats Oklahoma by at least 5. 7. 8. All right, you tell me how far I have to go.
That's what the buzzer's for.
I'm not necessarily a fan of him as like a dude. Like I don't think he'd be a good hang. I don't think he sees the big picture of college sports very well. You would be foolish to not expect Dan Hurley to coach well in an NCAA tournament.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why they've won 2 straight national championships.
And you may say like this team isn't as good as the last teams. Maybe. I don't think the last 2 years they've had the best team in the country. They've had one of the best teams in the country. But he's somehow had them as playing their best basketball at the right time. So even if this year's team is a little less talented, I still think he'll get them playing their best going into tournament play. There's something about those crazy eyes that works with tournament play. And I do think he has crazy eyes.
I can't wait to see the antics on the sideline.
Yeah.
In person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, this is intense.
Maybe we'll get hit by something.
You know what? I hope I do now. I hope I get hit by something.
Media row, like throw a clipboard or something and it shatters. We might catch some shrapnel.
We'll be directly across the benches, so yeah, why not?
Now let's do a Canes one real quick here. Canes versus Kings tomorrow.
Okay.
The Jarvis Aho Blake line, just because I'm high on them right now, 4 combined points or more against the Kings. All right, thank you.
Yes, that's a good day. That's a good day. 4 or more combined, that's a good day.
Granted, it could be like, Jarvis Aho get an assist on a Blake goal, and then you got 3 of them right there. But
that's true.
We'll take it.
But hey, that means they're going to factor into multiple goals.
True. That's the 4 is like that. It's like taking a spread in football from 2.5 to 3. It's like, all right, you've let the field goal in, right? 4 means they're factoring into multiple goals. So good call there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's some real, bold predictions, certified, authenticated. We do it every week in the afternoon show, so we brought it up here to the morning edition. It is the Fan Tournament Tailgate here on 99.9 The Fan. We have 1 more hour until the action tips off for the NCAA tournament. And today, UNC, Ole Miss. Will we get good UNC or bad UNC? That is the question coming up.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Everything for the exterior of your home, but it's also everything for the peace of mind of the customer. Talk to me about the trust factor and everything else that you guys offer.
I got to tell you, I think one of the biggest things for us is we don't take any payment from you for any of your home improvement needs until we're done with the project. I hear stories all the time about people putting down deposits with companies, 25, 50% of the project total overall, and they don't even know, they don't show up.
Right.
You've lost whatever percentage you put down, that's how much power you lost already. Right? So with us, you pay nothing until we're done. Typically we're not the least expensive, and we're certainly not the most expensive. You get 3 or 4 estimates, we're going to fall right there in the middle. But, you're going to have a warranty that's lifetime, transferable for 10 years on any of the products we sell typically. And we've been around since 1961. You can trust us. We've been around forever.
It is about trust, and I think you guys are the most trustworthy business that I know. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
311 live in concert. The Unity Tour 2025. June 25th, Red Hat Amphitheater. With special guests, Bad Flower and Sitting on Saturn. Celebrating 30 years of hits, plus the brand new album featuring Full Bloom. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Presented by Live Nation.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love. 685.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ross with Oak City Customs. Spring energy is here, and we are excited about all of your projects. We have kicked off this year with a lot of big things happening around the shop, including new hours and additional space. If you have never toured our shop before, come visit us in Zebulon. We would love to show you around. For official shop tours, check us out on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. From shop services to finished products like custom tables, countertops, outdoor pergolas, and furnishings, we have you covered. To learn more, check us out now at oakcitycustoms.com.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a windy start out there this morning, making it feel really chilly. Our temperatures are in the low to mid 40s now, but we'll climb to around 63 later on this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies after yesterday's front. Down to 43 tonight, and then a nice weekend. Highs will be in the low 70s Saturday and Sunday under mostly sunny skies.
Early morning check of your money. Dow Jones this morning at 11 a.m. down 228 points. To 41,724.
It's amazing. I've always kind of dreamed of a moment like this, especially at the collegiate level. I know it'll come at the next level, but this isn't something that comes, every single day here at this level. So just to have this blessing and have this opportunity to have some people who maybe can't make it out to North Carolina or can't make it out anywhere else to be able to make it out to this game is amazing. I've never played here at the Fiserv, so it's a dream come true for me.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was Seth Trimble, high flyer for UNC, talking about getting the opportunity to play an NCAA tournament game in his own backyard. Milwaukee native playing in Milwaukee. Fan Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roof Works, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. How funny is that there UNC and Duke are both depending on Milwaukeeans in their NCAA tournament run.
Yeah, that's right.
Con Knippel and Seth Trimble actually work out like at the same gyms and stuff when they're back home. So, Milwaukee with an outsized impact on the Triangle and the fate of the ACC in the NCAA tournament. We'll start with UNC. UNC favored in their round of 64 matchup against the better seed, right? UNC, after the play-in games, an 11 seed, Ole Miss, a 6 seed. UNC favored by 1.5. We mentioned it yesterday. The ESPN matchup predictor gives Carolina a 56% chance to win. Hubert Davis. Actually, I'll let Hubert take it from here, right? Just to preview the opponent, look at Ole Miss, an SEC team in a matchup. This is Hubert Davis, head coach UNC, on his overall impressions of the running Rebels.
Well, for Ole Miss, obviously they're talented on both ends of the floor, but, I think they hang their hat the way that they play defensively. They do a really good job of creating turnovers, which allows them to get out in transition where they're really good in transition. They've got athleticism. They're able to switch any type of action, whether it's on the ball or off, and tries to force you and take you out of your offensive sets and force you into a one-on-one situation. For us, especially over the last month and a half, we've faced a number of teams that switch 1 through 5 on and off the ball, but obviously Ole Miss does it at an elite level.
Switching 1 through 5. Oh, they have versatility. Listen. And this is so true for the tournament, but it's darn sure true for UNC. It's all about UNC. If good UNC shows up, the UNC that we've seen the last 10 games and minus 2 halves against Duke, if good UNC shows up, sky's the limit for them. They'll beat Ole Miss, they'll continue. If bad UNC shows up, I don't want to think about that. And there truly are 2 of those this year. It's UNC is the definition of if you watch, actually, I wish we could see these stats with the brackets. Which games did you casually watch? If we go to people that filled out brackets in California or Minnesota, right, somewhere that's not here, and some people would be like, yeah, I watched parts of the ACC tournament. They'd have UNC in the Elite Eight. Some people would be like, I caught UNC a few times in December, and it would be like, oh, you didn't have them coming out of the first round, did you? Right? It would be based on which UNC you saw. You'd either be like, they're awesome. Why does nobody like them? Or why does anybody think they should have gotten in the tournament?
I saw them playing that first Duke game in February at Cameron Indoor, and they got the doors blown off of them.
Yeah, I picked San Diego State by double figures after I watched that game.
Yeah,
it's good UNC, bad UNC, and the funny part is there's indicators pretty early in a game if you're gonna have good UNC or bad UNC. If Jalen Withers hits a 3 in the first 5 minutes, it's very much it's gonna be a good day. They're gonna be taken care of, right? If he's jogging down, nodding his head, it's a wrap. If you get an early, I would say almost specifically Elliot Cadeau throwing it, but if you get an early lob to Van Allen Lubin, it's going to be a good day for UNC.
Yep.
Right? Just one of those things. You see it, it's comforting. It's like boom. It's like if you have a erratic pitcher or something. It's like coming out of the first inning if he has his command that day, and if he does, it's a Rapsky, right? He's a 1.4 ERA. But if he puts 2 on base, even if he escapes without giving up a run, you're walking out going all right, we better have the bullpen ready by about the 4th. That's where UNC is. And I'll actually go defensive as well. If they get a steal on the perimeter, maybe even in the backcourt, early, that leads to an easy bucket, that's a great sign for UNC. Right? If Cadeau jumps a passing lane, gets a deflection, and then suddenly there's a leak out for Trimble, it's okay, boom, it's going to be a good day. Then there's the flip side, right? If that first 3 from Withers clanks off the side of the rim with no real shot, at no point in time throughout the arc of the shot did you go, it's got a chance. If it's a real clanker, then you get a little nervous. If Van Allen Lubin isn't really a part of the offense, if they're shooting from 3 maybe before touching the paint too often, they're pressing. If the opposing team's guards have time to set up, all right, they're not in rhythm defensively, and then it becomes the challenge, right? If good UNC shows up, I want to be the coach. I want to be Hubert Davis. If Jalen Withers knocks down the first 3, then they get a steal that leads to an offensive possession, and it's an alley-oop to Van Allen Lubin, and you're up 4-2. I don't care if it's 4-2. I want to be their coach because it's got to be fun at timeouts going, keep doing what you're doing. You can pick anybody. Trimble, you're in. Powell, stay out there. It's just fun because you're cruising. If bad UNC shows up, I'll tell you what I expect. And we saw some of this at the ACC tournament. Hubert Davis bringing emotion. Right? For a long time, Hubert Davis he's stoic. Right? For a long time, Hubert Davis was a coach keeping things calm. And I'm talking about previous years. We've seen as this year's gone along, he's gotten more and more and more willing to metaphorically, light something on fire when things aren't going his way. We call it taking the glasses off. You'll watch it. He takes the glasses off. He puts them down on the scorer's table, and then he turns around. It's like Clark Kent. He took the glasses off. Now he's going to go be Superman. He's going to go yell and scream, and the refs are going to hear him, and the players are going to hear him. He'll be throwing his jacket. He'll be going nuts because it is that dire of a situation if bad UNC shows up. You need to snap them out of it quick. You need to get them into their kind of, I guess the third UNC would be like their grind mode where they just try to muck everything up and win ugly. But that's even further last resort if you can't right the ship and get them to the good side of things. So it's check with me 5 minutes into the game. I'll tell you how confident I am. And it'll either be like book travel if you want to go see their Sunday game in Milwaukee, or it will be, maybe start looking at recruiting rankings. Like, let's see what the portal's bringing you next year. Talk to the GM. That early, I think it'll be that obvious. I'm not saying they have to be ahead 8-2 at the first media timeout. It's just you need to show that they're more the team of the last 10 games than they are the team of the first however many, 25. Well, number 11, UNC. Number 6 in their bracket, Ole Miss.
How far do you think UNC can really make a run here?
I
had them going Sweet 16.
This is not me blowing smoke. It's a big if. If you get good UNC most of the time, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to Elite 8 or Final Four.
Yeah, if I get pre-Clemson UNC,
if you get they're not here.
They probably lose today.
They probably lost on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If you get pre-Clemson loss, the loss that kind of sparked things, then yes, I'm wildly not confident.
Yeah, but if they consistently are the post-Clemson UNC that we've seen so far, no reason why they can't make a run. In all honesty.
More specifically, if you get the UNC from the first half of Senior Day against Duke, or the second half of ACC semifinal against Duke.
Oh man, they put that together.
If they put both of those halves, that's why I'm saying Elite 8 and maybe even a little bit beyond is realistic because it's there. You just got to do the full 2 halves of it, but it is there. We've seen it in person. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll look at Duke. They have a different game, right? They're 6-11. That's one thing. 16 versus 1. It's a whole other. We'll look at Duke next. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. My favorite part about Manor Service Company, this is like when I talk about teams, and I'm like, my favorite part is, and then I have to backtrack and go, well, my favorite part about the team is they win games, and they play good offense, and they play good defense. My favorite part about Manor Service Company is how efficiently, effectively, and quality they can fix your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, right? That's the winning and losing. Then my next favorite part is the relationship building, right? They don't just want to be a mercenary that you call in when things are going really, really bad. They want to be someone that Hey, you got a question, give them a call. Hey, if you need maintenance, give them a call. Hey, tell your friends about them, right? Like, hey, I got a guy that fixes that for me. They can do the same for you. Here's Manor Service Company's phone number. They want to be a part of your community. They want to be enriching the community through philanthropic events. They're a part of it, right? So my favorite part is they're really good at their job. They air conditioning, heating, stopping leaks, making sure everything's running right, electric. That's my favorite part. My next part, though, is how they make you feel and how the relationships can continue to be built over time. So give them a call to start your relationship with Manor Service Company. The phone number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online, ManorServices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com, ManorServices.com. We look at Duke's matchup. They're taking on 16 seed Mount St. Mary's. Next.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's the Jeep Celebration event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get ready for the ride of your life with 25% off your new 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Cruise through the toughest terrain, tackle any adventure, and look great doing it. Whether you're off-roading or on the road, the Gladiator is built for all. So get off your keister and get to Heister because this deal won't last long. See dealer for details. Hurry into the Jeep Celebration event. On now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Hardee's hand-breaded chicken goodness. 100% white meat dipped in buttermilk and lightly hand-breaded. Served on a toasted bun for a perfectly crispy meets juicy chicken sandwich, or on a home-style tender platter with your favorite dipping sauce, like new Duke's Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. Lunch, dinner, or anytime, there's nothing quite like the goodness of Hardee's hand-breaded chicken. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Looking for the perfect kitchen, bath, or flooring? At Home Outlet, we don't just promise the guaranteed lowest price, we back it up.
Yeah, but how low are we talking?
We'll beat any competitor's price by 10%.
That's wow. But okay, what makes your store better?
Funny you should ask. We're 100% employee owned. Everyone here has a stake in making your home projects affordable and stress-free.
So I'm getting expert advice, unbeatable prices, and I'm supporting employees who actually care?
Exactly. Why shop anywhere else? Home Outlet, kitchens, baths, floors, and more at the guaranteed lowest price. Visit us at homeoutlet.com today.
Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Did you know colon cancer can be detected early or prevented through regular screening?
I have detected Around Earth is the greatest lie ever.
Okay, Roger. My uncle just passed away and I inherited his cockatoo, Roger. He was a member of the Flat Earth Society, so Roger picked up on some of his rhetoric. Anyway, screening, such as a colonoscopy.
Screen these! Screen these!
Roger that, Roger. Moving on. Colonoscopies can detect early-stage colon or rectal cancer or even polyps, which are abnormal growths that can turn into cancer over time.
I'm a flat earth walker.
Come on, Roger. What did I do to my uncle to deserve you? You don't get to choose what you inherit, just like colon cancer. Unlike Roger here, I believe in science. And science says that if colon cancer runs in your family, you're more likely to develop it yourself. Talk to your doctor about when you should start screening. Find out more at coloncancercoalition.org. A message from the Colon Cancer Coalition.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb. Expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer, $149 or less. And soon, one expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Yeah, I'm in a good state of mind. I think our guys are ready. In terms of on the court, I think 1 through 4, really everyone is sort of that floor general, and just the way that we play, sort of 5 out. Everyone sort of bring the ball up and getting involved. But I think I'm ready, our team's ready, and we're just looking forward to the first game.
The fan tournament tailgate, getting you ready for the bracket action. The fan tournament tailgate on 99.9 The Fan, presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Duke, through their regular season, earned the right to have a game in which they are favored by 32.5 to open their NCAA tournament run. That's right, 32.5. 4.5 touchdowns. They are
it's a lot.
They're expected to win against number 16 Mount St. Mary's, who is coming off a win in the first 4 earlier this week. The story for Duke, for the most part this season, this week, has been: will Cooper Flagg play? Will Cooper Flagg be healthy enough to play? Will John Shire even risk playing him in the opening round? It appears as if he will. And Cooper Flagg was asked how he's feeling ahead of the first round game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. We have an incredible team, incredible training staff. So we've been working through the steps of just getting to 100%. I mean, I feel very good. I'm very confident moving forward.
Side note, do you know what's the best commercial of March Madness thus far?
The bingo commercial?
Yeah, thus far. Obviously, there's still a lot of basketball to watch, so there's a lot of commercials to see. But I thought it was funny, legitimately, the first time I saw it. What do you call it? Like, okay, mammy. And then he goes and high fives all the people in the bingo hall. Hilarious. John Shire, the head coach of Duke, also spoke to the media. And obviously with Cooper Flagg's absence for most of the ACC tournament run, a lot more of the weight fell on the other players' shoulders, and that's what Shire was talking about. The other guys being able to step up when their numbers are called.
Sometimes you can call it bad, sometimes injuries are bad luck, right? And when there's bad luck or things that work against you, it's really an opportunity is what it is. And I thought that presented an amazing opportunity for our team to show our toughness in a critical moment. You know, the Georgia Tech game, we're down, we're playing horrible, they're playing really well. And to be able to come back, to turn around the next 2 days against two really good teams without them. With all that said, we all know we need them, and we're a lot better with them. But for other guys to step up in close games to make big-time winning plays, I think that just gave us even more confidence with what we can do, getting him back healthy and ready to go at the same time.
It is. I mean, that is the ideal. If you're a team and a star player gets hurt, if it's not a long-term deal, the ideal, your fever dream, your fantasy is everybody else steps up and improves while the star player is gone. And then when the star player comes back, it's just a better for everybody situation. It's not always the case, right? Because roles change, right? Con Knippel's not going to have the usage rate that he had when Cooper Flagg was off the court, right? Isaiah Evans isn't going to start like he did when Cooper Flagg was hurt. So the roles will change, but there may be some individual improvement along the way. There's not much you can really learn from a game in which you should win by a bunch unless you get a scare, right? Auburn yesterday, for those of you that paid attention to the scores, through about halfway, they got a little 16-1 seed scare. Unless that happens, I don't think there's a lot we're going to learn about Duke, but I do think that it's another opportunity. And it's one of the things that I've been harping on throughout this entire season. John Shire is still not a grizzled old coach, right? John Shire is still not, I think because, ACC coaches turn over seemingly half the league every 18 months. It seems like Shire's been there longer. This is the third year, right? So he gets a chance to push some buttons, right? He gets a chance to continue learning his team and learning the motivation and making sure they're locked in. If the behind-the-scenes stuff that's come out of Duke recently is really cool. All right, they have some mic'd up in the locker rooms and things. During the ACC championship game at half against Louisville when they were down 5, you can go find online. He called them soft a bunch of times, and a bunch of different ways too. It was like he was trying to meet the minimum word requirement in a middle school essay. He's like, there's soft play, and there's been a softness to us, and we have to stop being soft. I'm like, all right, he's saying the same thing over and over again. He wants to get his point across. Well, guess what? It worked. They won the second half by 16, won the game by double figures. So there's more and more opportunities for him to keep developing as an NCAA tournament coach. which is important, especially. And Dennis, correct me. Maybe I'm not overthinking this, but
Okay.
I'm like old man yelling at clouds.
All right.
know? I'm looking forward to COVID eligibility not being a thing anymore. This is the last year where players have like just an extra year of eligibility because the COVID years were taken away. Part of the magic for NCAA tournaments for me is you have like a 19 or 20-year-old guard, crucial moment, right? Heart beating through his chest. Watching the games yesterday, it just seemed like there were a lot of like 25-year-olds at the free throw line.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they got like job offers. They're like already, I don't know, grizzled and weathered. And it's like, this isn't the tournament. The tournament, I need a guy who was in like braces and acne 7 months ago and was at a homecoming dance 2 years ago. And now he's out there with billions of eyes watching him and billions of brackets riding on this made or missed jumper. Like, it's part of the magic.
Like, shouldn't this guy be at prom?
Yeah.
Like Grayson Allen, actually, a few years ago,
Yes.
when his freshman year. It was interesting seeing last night Kerwin Walton, former UNC guy, that came in with R.J. Davis as a fifth-year guy playing for Texas Tech last night against UNC Wilmington. So I'm with you on that. I was like, oh, Kerwin Walton, I'm like, that guy's still around? But I'm with you on the fact that Shire will be able to push some buttons, but with those young guys as well. As much as we've seen Cooper Flagg, that guy's still, remind ourselves, that guy should be going to prom right now. Con Knipple is still 18, 19 years old. Yep. Isaiah Evans, still 18, 19 years old. So we still do have that. And eventually the Sion James and Mason Gillis's, those guys are going to phase out because of the COVID years of eligibility are going to be gone. But I'm with you on that.
That's exactly what I'm getting at is Shire still has to do some of that.
Yeah,
he still has to get some 18-year-olds ready for those moments. He still has to get a 20-year-old ready for those moments. I was watching it was the Louisville game. And the Creighton kid at the end shooting free throws, I just had his name. He's like going to turn 25 in a couple months. Stephen Ashworth.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in my mid 30s, right? If I connect with a buddy on a road, like hey, let's get drinks. I'm in town for a night, and he's like, all right, cool. I'll bring my friend. If he brought this guy with him, I would be like, all right, you're about our age. Like he would have just fit right. He was playing college basketball.
Yeah.
It's like Louisville had their share of them too, so I'm not like acting like Louisville's at a huge disadvantage. But like, you know, for a comeback to happen, because Louisville was trying to come back against Creighton, you need guys to get rattled. Like a double-digit lead in the NCAA tournament doesn't evaporate unless guys are missing free throws, turning the ball over, right? Maybe taking shots too quickly in a shot clock. You need that stuff to happen. And I'm like, this guy, he's got a mortgage. Like There's no way he's going to get rattled by a little ball pressure. He's 28 years old. So Shire does have to get young guys ready. That's what I'm talking about. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There is, quite frankly, maybe the best location of college basketball is right here in the Triangle
100%.
For the men's tournament, and 3 of them for the women's tournament. But we'll focus on the men and who's playing right here in Raleigh at the Lenovo Center. But before we get to that, Dennis Cox has some info for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying this wonderful weather. I'm enjoying getting outside. I'm riding my motorcycle so much now that, you know what, I'm trying to make up for all the lost time of winter. Maybe you are driving down the road and you see a motorcycle and be like, hey, you know what, that actually does look kind of fun. Just kind of cruise around on a beautiful Saturday afternoon or a beautiful day like today. That can be you if you go to caniacsbike.com. Because the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and the Carolina Hurricanes, they're all teaming up once again to give a lucky fan a Caniacs motorcycle. But this year is a custom Caniacs motorcycle, folks. That is what makes this year so special. It is truly one-of-one bike. It is custom built by Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, custom painted by Shiny Side Paint, located both right here in Raleigh. All the Canes colors, logos, decals, you name it, it's all right there on the bike. And it's one-of-one, and it can be yours if you go to caniacsbike.com. Again, go to caniacsbike.com. This is the time of year to win, folks. It's all about winning this time of year. You can win as well. Go to caniacsbike.com. Deadline to enter is April 6th. The winner of the bike will be given the bike on the ice at the last home game of the season. go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks at who will be playing right here in our backyard at the Lenovo Center coming up after this.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Thanks. Got my seat cushion, crossword puzzle, and can't forget the hand sanitizer. Okay, show me the waiting room.
No need for all that. You can stay in your car.
I'll stay in my car? Get out.
Yep, you stay in. It'll just be 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Get out.
Go ahead, sit back and relax.
Well, I guess I'll save all this for the DMV. If only they took 10 minutes, am I right? I'm sorry.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
Mix and match faves like a Filet-O-Fish, McCrispy, Spicy McCrispy, or 10-piece McNuggets. Now get any 2 for only $6. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The tournament is here, and Total Wine & More is your slam dunk headquarters. Whether you're cheering courtside from your couch with crisp craft beers, smooth cabs, or refreshing seltzers, we've got the perfect lineup to keep your watch party winning. And just like your bracket, we've got a lineup full of contenders. Whether you're picking favorites or going for bold upsets, our friendly guides will help you find amazing drinks for every matchup. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As per usual, the triangle here will be the center of the college basketball world today and always, but definitely today. But before we have a chance to illustrate why, how, and where that epicenter of the college basketball universe is, we have 2 minutes of gold from our very own Adam Gold, highlighting and explaining the details of the Carolina Hurricanes' late night 10:30 puck drop out there on the West Coast. 3-1 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Here's 2 minutes of gold.
I got 2 minutes for 2 points that were acquired too late for a lot of people because you sleep. Some of us don't. And you can discover why so many people trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. So, while you were sleeping, the Hurricanes beat the San Jose Sharks 3-1. And while you were sleeping, Frederick Anderson was outstanding again. Carolina's goaltending in the last 10 games, off the charts, about .945 for a save percentage in the last 10 games. Kochetkov is 5-0. Anderson is 4-1. The only loss was the loss to Edmonton. where Carolina only allowed 2 goals with a goalie in it. That's right, Carolina's been good. In fact, they've allowed just 10 goals during this 8-game winning streak. But you still got to score, and they gave up a shorthanded goal in the first period, and then you thought, man, is it going to be one of those nights? And then Seth Jarvis happened.
Aho tries to get to it off the side of the net. And Blake will get it back and he'll score! In the high slot, Seth Jarvis takes advantage. And Jarvis's 27th has Carolina tied at 1.
Great plays by Jackson Blake and Sebastian Aho to create the opportunity, which ended up being an unassisted goal. But those are just points. We know who made the plays. Jarvis, the finisher. And then Blake to Aho for the lead in the third.
Blake steps away. He creates some space out for Aho. He scores! A wicked one-timer from Sebastian Aho. And Carolina takes a 2-1 lead.
That top line, Aho, Blake, Jarvis, fantastic all night long, as was Anderson. Sean Walker would add his 4th goal of the season with about 5 minutes to go, and that was the finishing touch as Carolina has now won 8 in a row. And you can experience Parkway Sleep Health Center's streamlined process that gets you in quickly for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies. Parkway Sleep Health Center's sound sleep, sound health, sound the alarms of an 8-game winning streak.
That's 2 minutes of gold here on 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to Adam Gold for giving us all the details, especially for those that maybe were so basketballed out that the 10:30 puck drop on a hockey game just became unrealistic.
He stayed up late, so you didn't have to.
There you go. Appreciate it as always. Speaking of basketball, the Raleigh location for the NCAA tournament, first couple of rounds in the men's side is loaded. The women's side also, but those are, dare I say, kind of like automatically loaded because they're home. Like when you have home teams, like the atmosphere is going to be great. You played in a home arena. All 3 teams in the triangle are hosting, and all 3 are expected to make runs. So those will be really, really fun on the women's side. The men's, it's more of a crapshoot as far as do you get the matchups you want, right? You see that there's going to be a Raleigh location and you get excited, but then you kind of have to wait until Selection Sunday to see how excited you should be. The rundown, bananas. 4 games all today. There's a 9 versus 8 seed matchup of Baylor, Mississippi State.
Okay. No pushovers.
No pushovers, but it also has some storylines, right? Jeremy Roach for Baylor is a 4-year starter for Duke. And if he wins, and assuming Duke wins, they'll play on Sunday against each other. And even like regardless of if Duke were waiting in the second round, playing with a lot of Duke fans in the arena because Duke is going to follow them is going to be interesting for Jeremy Roach, right? Because you buy 1 ticket, you get to see both games. Duke fans will get there early, and do they cheer for Jeremy Roach? Do they not? Do they do the opposite of cheering for Jeremy Roach? Who knows? Mississippi State also not a pushover. Don't want to make it all about Baylor. Then there's the game I just mentioned. Number 1 Duke, number 16 Mount St. Mary's. You know what that game is, but it's going to be an opportunity to see what Duke is working with. Then later on, that's at 2:50 scheduled time, right? All these are kind of fluid. At 6:50 tonight, number 1 Florida versus number 16 Norfolk State. Now Norfolk State, I've mentioned I used to cover Norfolk State earlier in my career. Their coach, his name's Robert Jones. He's like, how do I say this? He has a chip on his shoulder. He's been the coach of TBT, the basketball tournament. He's taken HBCU players, all the alumni, the best alumni you can get from an HBCU team, and won games against super expensive the basketball tournament teams. And then he talks, I don't want to say talks trash, but he lets people know that he feels have disrespected him or his team, that they shouldn't do that. So Norfolk State going up against Florida, 16 versus 1 matchup. You know how those are expected to go. Florida's a 28.5 point favorite. Norfolk State will bring a little bit of scrap. I'll promise you that. They will not be intimidated. Florida, you get a chance to see Walter Clayton Jr. If you look at the AP All-American teams, there's Cooper Flagg, there's John Ibroom from Auburn. Oh, right there is Walter Clayton Jr. from Florida. He is a first-team AP All-American, 6'2" senior guard. Almost 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, a little over 4 assists. So he does a little bit of everything, and it's always fun to see All-Americans. It's a good time. And then the nightcap, the 9:25 game, 8-seeded UConn against 9-seeded Oklahoma. That one's fascinating to me. It's fascinating because UConn's an 8 seed. UConn is the 2-time defending national champion. They walk with the bravado of a 2-time defending national champion into an 8-9 seed game, which is a really interesting stew being made, right? Give the confidence of Dan Hurley, the reputation and resume of 2 back-to-back national champions and still alive for a third. Mix it up with a mediocre regular season in the Big East. Throw in there like a Liam McNeely, Liam McNeely, stud freshman for UConn, 6'7", averages 15, 6, and 3, something like that. Cooper Flagg's high school teammate at Montverde down there in Florida.
Yeah.
So there's weird dynamics there with who's in the building and who's watching, and mix all that up and throw again, I wouldn't say a juggernaut, but a not to be messed with Oklahoma team in there. Play it late at night in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Lenovo Center when everyone's a little loopy and punch drunk from a full day of basketball, and see how it goes. That's what they're doing. I think from a pure entertainment standpoint, take fandom out. Obviously, if you're a Duke fan, you're jacked up that they're playing in Raleigh because it's not a long drive for you to go see your favorite team. But if I'm just a college basketball fan, I have no allegiances. This is about as entertaining of a 4-game random mix-up as you can get at one location in the NCAA tournament. Storylines are there. Talent is there. All-Americans are there. Superstar coaches are there. Big-time fan bases that will get the atmosphere rocking are there. And I do think UConn still wants to be in the ACC. So
they might.
They're down here just hey, imagine what this could be like. We already play you in football every year, most of the teams in the Triangle. How about we audition the basketball team in ACC country?
So yesterday during practices were open to the public. It was pretty much just a bunch of Duke fans that were there, which makes total sense. The bands were playing and everything like that. I remember actually when Mount St. Mary's band was walking in and Duke was just finishing up their practice. I remember I was standing by the band that was walking in, and I heard one of the band members goes, "Oh, that's Cooper Flagg." So I mean, it's just one of those things. There's star power in college basketball regards, but you legit, obviously you have 2 1 seeds. But you legit have 2 teams that are favored to win the national title playing here today.
Yeah.
And most likely playing here on Sunday as well.
Which used to be impossible because it used to be the regions, the locations were part of a region. So
now they're not.
Now you get they're on opposite ends of the bracket, but they're just playing in the same spot to start, which I don't know if I like it, but it does make for an opportunity to have 2 number 1 seeds in the same area.
And that's what makes this so great. That's the reason why we have so many big brands that are here playing today and on Sunday. You legit, if you go watch games today, you might watch a national championship winner play today.
Yep.
And the 2 teams that will probably play each other with Florida and Duke.
Florida and Duke are the 2 betting favorites to win the national title as it stands right now.
That's awesome.
And they're both going to be playing in Raleigh at the Lenovo Center, which is, like you said, it's just cool. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is the fan tournament tailgate. We are getting you ready to enjoy the games, quite frankly. And at noon, we'll pass things over to the broadcast. But first, Dennis, you know what we have to do. It's a Friday. It's the last segment of the Drive. Just because it's in the morning, it doesn't change things up. There's a lot of games going on, a lot of things to predict. We will make our picks. Coming up next. Stick around.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a go-see. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Hey, bud, why the long face? Got laid off again, like the third time since the plague. You should move back in with your parents. What? Well, let's go to Sharky's. Now that's a good idea. Hey, they hiring? No chance they'd hire you, but Sharky's is my favorite spot, and I just love hanging there. Sharky's it is. We can discuss a new job over a cold beer and the best wings ever.
He's right, you know. No one's gonna hire you. Move back in with your parents. Sharky's, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
It's almost that time. You know what? Today is the reason why the NCAA tournament is so awesome. Because there's a lot of really, really good days in sports, right? Opening day of Major League Baseball is awesome. Conference championship day of the NFL is awesome. But then guess what happens the next day? There's, I don't know, a handful of Major League Baseball games, and it's day 2 of 300 in baseball season. The day after conference championship day in the NFL is what? You're just looking, right? You're just waiting. Got 2 weeks till the Super Bowl. College basketball, they hit you with 16 games on Thursday, and then you're like waking up the next day, oh, yesterday was great. Boom, 16 more. And the next day, we're going to take the best parts of the last 2 days, throw 8 more games at you. Do it again on Sunday. Give you a couple days break. Right back at you on Thursday. It's the consistency for me. That's what does it. And with that being said, we made a bunch of picks yesterday. Those games, they're done. They're gone. Smoke.
All over.
Today, we have a bunch of more games. And actually, this weekend, we have a bunch more games. So, Dennis, what games should we pick? What should we make these selections on?
Well, let's go right to the Lenovo Center.
All right.
Game coming up here in about, tips off at 12:15, so less than 30 minutes away. Baylor, 9 seed, Mississippi State. Mississippi State favored by 1.5 at this one. East Region first round matchup, Tim.
I'm going with, and this is probably like a familiarity thing for me. If you look at Baylor, there's Norchad Omier, who we know very well from his time at Miami in the ACC. There's Jeremy Roach, who we know extremely well from his time at Duke. And they also have VJ Edgecombe. And if you don't know who that is, he's going to be a top 5 to 7 pick in the NBA draft. Freshman, started the year rough, really coming on, freak athletically. I just think it's a talent thing that Baylor can lean on, and they'll end up getting the win. Close, though. Close. Because it's March, right? Maybe a buzzer beater. Have we had a true buzzer beater yet?
We have not.
There was the baseball pass in the first 4. but there was still like a second left on the clock after that.
Yeah, like 0.9, whatever it was. So, I mean, I guess if we want to count that, we can, but not actually like buzzers going off. Ball
Lights
hits the
red,
net.
balls in the air. Poof. That's what I want.
All right, well, we're going to stick to the Lenovo Center right now. We'll get to local teams here in a second, but Norfolk State, 28.5-point underdogs against Florida, which, by the way, Florida, their assistant coach, John Andershek, is the new Campbell head coach.
True.
Let's not remember that. But he's going to join Campbell after the Gators' run is over. Will it end today, Tim? West Region first-round game here in Raleigh. Norfolk State taking on the number 1 seed Florida. Again, 28.5
Florida's going to win.
Yeah.
Probably cover. But if I know Norfolk State like I think I do, and I covered them for years, they'll land a couple punches, right? They'll be the heavyweight champ in the first round will be like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to fight. Like, they'll land a couple punches against Florida, and then Florida will eventually knock them out. But I like their spunk, their pizzazz, if you will. But no, give me Florida to cover however many I need them to cover.
All right, the nightcap at the Lenovo Center, UConn, 8 seed in the West region, taking on 9 seed in the West, Oklahoma. UConn, 5.5-point favorites. Again, this game doesn't tip off until about 9:30 tonight.
I have a hard time betting against the coaches like Hurley that seem to always overperform in the like. It was Boeheim was always this way for me, where I'm just like, you know what, I'm probably picking Syracuse to make it out of the first weekend. Regardless of like almost the talent, right? He's just they find a way to do all right. Izzo's kind of that way, where it's like, yeah, he definitely doesn't have a national championship roster, but there's no way I'm picking him to lose in the first round. So I'm going that way with Hurley. Give me UConn.
Duke, I'm going to say basically at home at the Lenovo Center because it's right down the road. But Duke, East Region, round 1. Taking on 16 seed Mount St. Mary's. Duke 32.5-point favorites. That game tips off at just right around 3 o'clock.
Near home. Ironically, and I saw Shire was asked this during his media availability. In the building with the banner that NC State kept them from getting, right?
Yeah.
They played in the Elite Eight last year.
That's right. That's true.
And State won, and that banner is above their head in the Lenovo Center playing today.
That's a good point.
So I think they'll be locked in. I think the motivation writes itself. I think they win. The spread is 32.5. Give me Duke by at least that. But also that's kind of a choice. Like if they call the dogs off and win by 28, I'm not going to go, ooh, what a bad game.
Yeah, if they want to win by 40, I'm sure they could.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the final one here. In Milwaukee, South Region, first round. North Carolina, the 11 seed, taking on Ole Miss, the 6 seed. UNC, a 1.5-point favorite. This game tips off at just after 4 o'clock.
I have UNC in my bracket. I'm rolling with UNC. Although we should mention, speaking of players we're familiar with, their leading scorer, Sean Padula, Virginia Tech guy. He was transferred
from Ole Miss. That's right.
From Virginia Tech, and Brakefield, their second leading scorer, guy that plays like 20 minutes a night. I read a whole thing about him. Started his career where?
What's the name?
Duke.
Brakefield?
I
don't know this
guy. He was a freshman with Coach K during the one of the COVID years, and had averaged like 3 points or whatever per game at Duke. But he's the second leading scorer for Ole Miss, one of those super old guys that's still around. So maybe there's some motivation there, like still got a little Duke in his blood, like Blake's for Stanford when he hit the game winner against UNC. But no, I think UNC wins. I think they're playing really well right now. I think they'll roll. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of brackets, it's time for me to update our Bailey's Fine Jewelry watch bracket. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. We have our watch bracket here, and the matchup for today is the Hamilton Khaki Field. Now, this is a really exciting watch. I'm a big fan. Military watch. Keep that in mind. Military-inspired, American-made. A lot of the Hamilton Khaki kind of models you see in movies, including one very, very, very famous one about like time travel and interspace travel. And then they're matched up with the Norcane Freedom 60. Norcane, the official watch of the NHLPA, the NHL. There's some former NHL players in their ownership group, is bringing a pop of color is the way they bring like the traditional watchmaking, timepiece making excellence, but also a little bit of modern style, let you make a little bit of a louder statement, some different textures and materials. So you have a traditional military American-made watch in the Hamilton, and you have the Norcane, who's revolutionizing and obviously a European-made movement. Very difficult for me. I did, and this actually came from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I got my dad a Hamilton khaki field watch for Christmas this year. So personal, sorry to Norcane, but there's some personal connections here. We're going Hamilton khaki field. And by the way, if you want to check out any of these watches, if you heard Pop of Color and you got excited, if you want the movie watch, if you want the military watch, or any of the watches from our bracket that we are doing all month here until we have just one model standing, be sure to check out Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, which is part of Bailey's Fine Jewelry, is located inside their Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location in Raleigh. So go stop out, see them, try the watches on, maybe decide who's going to win your bracket, right? Tell me where I'm wrong, although I do love the Hamilton, just going to say. I think I'm pretty right on this one. But if you have any questions, again, check them out, Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Let them know you heard about it right here from me on 99.9 The Fan. All right, it's about time to turn you over to the action. It's about time to turn you over to the basketball. It is going to be a full day of basketball here on 99.9 The Fan. Also, Dennis and I got to get over to the Lenovo Center to watch some basketball in person. So enjoy. We'll be back on Monday with, again, too much to talk about. Hopefully, 2 teams from the Triangle still alive in the men's basketball tournament and 3 teams from the Triangle still alive in the women's.
By the way, feature game right here on 99.9 The Fan is going to be at Lenovo Center. Baylor, Mississippi State. When Duke plays 3 o'clock, check over on Buzz Sports Radio. That's where Duke, if you want to hear that game, is going to be over there. But literally wall-to-wall action sports this whole weekend, folks.
On Monday, we're back to our normal time, 3 to 6. So we'll see you in the afternoon on Monday for a regular version of The Drive. In the meantime, if you want more content, follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you on Monday, everybody. Enjoy the tourney.
Wolfpack Sports Today